This is the real concrete jungle.
Where I'm from, yeah. I'm from a concrete jungle in the middle of the Pacific Ocean.
The concrete jungle.
Welcome to the Concrete Jungle Podcast, in-depth artist interviews, where we'll be diving a little deeper with some of your favorite artists from all around the world and introducing you to some dope people you never knew you needed to know. Shout out to Island City Media Group for bringing you the Concrete Jungle every Wednesday, 8 to 10 p.m. California Fresh Coast time. Make sure you guys download that free Dash Radio app. We are streaming live music 24/7, y'all. Tonight, I have the huge honor of welcoming to the Concrete Jungle a true pioneer in our hip-hop culture, a living legend, an icon, musician, actor, a true advocate for preserving our Samoan and Polynesian culture. This Uso comes from a multi-talented family of 6 brothers who are all iconic in their own light. The originators of gangsta rap, yeah, I said it, the originators of gangsta rap, y'all, from the world-famous BOOYAA tribe. Please welcome to the Concrete Jungle, the big Uso, GAWTTI in the building, y'all.
Oh, what's up, Uso? Malo lava.
Hey, Malo, Uso, man. Yeah. First of all, man, I just want to say it is a huge honor, Us. You know what I'm saying? This is kind of surreal for me, Uso. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you know, I have a lot of gratitude, you know, off back and, you know, jumping right into it. How's everything going, Uso? How's pandemic life treating you? How's everything?
It's, man, you know, tough times, the pandemic, you know, trying to keep the family safe. And, you know, a lot of the polys went through a lot this whole pandemic, you know, losing family and loved ones. So it's been tough, you know, especially, you know, I lost my brother, GANXSTA, a couple of months ago. And so, you know, it's, you know, still grieving, but, you know, life goes on and trying to, you know, get back and continue the legacy, what we got to finish, me and my brothers.
Definitely, you know, sincere condolences to the family, you, Uso, and you know, the fans worldwide, and you know, especially, you know, your Uso, rest in peace, right now, Gangsta RIDD, that just recently passed away. Right. You guys are huge in the hip hop industry, and you know, in our community, you know, and you know, like to take it back to you know, a real happy place, you know, when you guys used to start off back in Carson, you know what I mean? And, you know, I always wondered back then, because, you know, you remind me a lot of my family, Us, you know what I'm saying? I got some brothers and, you know, you come up in that Samoan family where Pops is kind of like driving y'all to, hey, straighten up before you walk out that door. You know what I'm saying? So like, I know you guys, did you guys start out, was it growing up in Scottsdale projects off back?
Yeah, well, we originally from we grew up in 223rd in Avalon. Yeah, there was a little block over here called Happy Valley. That's where we originated, and then we moved to Scottsdale after that. And we were the only West Siders from the East Side, lived in the East Side neighborhood in the projects at that time too.
Man.
Yeah, but we were originally from Avalon 223rd on the West Side, but we moved to Scottsdale from there. So, you know, so we had love for both sides, you know, from our neighborhood, especially from the East Side. So, you know.
That's what's up. You know, growing up back then, when I used to kind of look at my older, you know, relatives, you know, back then, life seemed a lot, you know, a lot more chill, but at the same time, the climate of gangbanging was pretty high back then. You know, can you explain that to us? How it was?
Yeah, especially in the 80s. The 80s was because the 80s, that's when crack cocaine hit. And when you had the money, the trap houses mixing with the gang banging, LA was that wasn't the time to start banging. That was a vicious time in growing up in Carson, California, Compton, and Long Beach. Then you got Wilmington, and you know, just the whole harbor area. Right when the crack cocaine hit, it was and gangbang at the same time. It was so many mixed emotions because you had to deal with, you know, guys doing licks, jacking the trap houses, or, you know, I know a few partners that passed away from getting killed during that time too, in the early middle 80s when crack cocaine hit. And like you said too, you know, that time too, gangbanging wasn't as really as more. It was more, you know, from the 70s to the 80s, it was more of getting down, getting your squab on, one on
Yeah.
one, and then you leave alive. But now these youngsters are quick to pull a, you know, now they call it a blower. Back in our days we used to call it a strap or a heat. Now they call it a blower. And they're quick to pull it. And you got to remember, people pull guns. If you have a gun, it doesn't mean you're tough. And people shoot out of fear. You
Yep.
know what I mean? So that's the, in the early in the 80s was more of, you get down, get your squad on, that was it. Hey, I'm alive. But these days, this whole generations, they're quick to pull up a strap and start shooting. So it's different. The times have changed.
Times definitely changed, And growing up back then, I know you guys started out, like you were saying, one of the first families out in the projects, at that time, and y'all West Side, around that crack era time, how much involved was crack in the Samoan community?
In my era, in the 80s, the late 80s, there was a few guys that were, doing it, like, because at the time, a lot of muleys and Mescals were, making money out of it. But guys that I knew, my opinion, there was, in Compton, there was OG Magoo. That boy was doing it. They had different guys. Big Carlton from Compton. They had big, my brother Big Kids. He was doing it in the Wilmington Project, and he was a crip. So we were doing it. And a lot of my family. It was just there were certain guys that was really doing it back in the days. Right? That in that area of you being young, you see them pull up. Like Magoo was the first. The more I see pull up with a silver Mercedes. Like damn, I want to be like that. And I was a summer of the night going to my 10th grade. I was at practice. Me and some of the Usos were sitting waiting to get ready to hit the what you call football practice, and we're all waiting. And Magoo pulls up in the Mercedes, gives us $100. Hey, y'all go get something to eat. Damn, all of us like, oh shoot, thanks, Us. Like damn, like so there was. And that's when crack first hit in the 80s. So there was some Usos that was doing it in the Samoan community, but I think to me, it backfired on us too, because a lot of our OGs and a lot of our people started to do it, and that's when it got out of control. When you see, I'm not saying Magoo did it. I'm just saying when you see an OG that you grew up and you looked up to him, and then you see, like man, he's cracked out. That's when it took over. It got out of control.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of Samoan family also that, they had family members that was on it, and it's sad, but what can you do? It's part of your environment. It's part of the urban. It's part of the environment that you come out of. Especially in that street life.
That's real shit, man. Yeah, I feel you, man. It's unfortunate when you see sometimes Usos is at the height of they hustling, they trapping, and then, all of a sudden, tables turn,
Right.
And growing up at that time, what was the music soundtrack when y'all was growing up and the crack era was happening? What was you guys listening to back then?
We were still listening to oldies, because my brother Young Man, oldies was our first, but at that time we were starting to get into the hip hop. My brother Gangsta Red he was already doing local stuff from 83, from the 83 when he first started, 1983. He was like a local act opening up for, at that time, our rappers were like Toddy T, Mixmaster Spade, LA Dream Team, that was our West Coast. And then you had Ice-T, he finally came out. And then 88, NWA came out. But my brother Gangsta Red, he had a group called the Sinister Villains. So they were like a local group that were open for, at that time, we had a hall right there across the street from Scottsdale called Big John's Hall. It was named after Big John Manamaluna. It was a hall that they do a lot of dances, performance, and my brother Rick Gangster always opened up for the group that would come there and perform, like LA Dream Team. Worldwide Wrecking Crew, Dr. Dre. Cube had a group called the CIA, before they all connected to NWA. But yeah, then you had Mixed Master Spade, Toddy T. Those were our local, rappers back in those days who we were listening to. But we were more of a diverse because hip hop came from New York. So we were listening to Fat Boys, Houdini,
Yeah.
Roxanne, UTFO. Those were the groups that really got my brother Gangsta Red of really writing like hip hop music as far as him starting gangster rap, but he was more influence of how the New Yorkers dress, how they folded all the elements because hip hop, see a lot of youngsters got to understand you got to do your research. Hip hop is just not just hip hop.
Yep.
It's hip hop is the 5 elements: hip hop, rapping, breaking, dancing, MC, DJ, graffiti, and the last is knowledge. Those are the 5 elements of hip hop. And what Red used to love, he used to always try to put that to bring it to the West Coast. Because my brother Gangster, he started graffitiing. He was one of the first graffitiers started hitting in the neighborhood. He started drawing these characters in our neighborhood at Carson Park. People were like, man, who did that? Who did that mural? And Red did the B-boy, but he'll put West Side Power on there and he'll twist it into a gang, West Coast. But it was more of, those days watching, at that time, a lot of people don't know that my cousin Sugar Pop, he's one of the first Samoans that ever did pop dance videos with Michael Jackson, Billy Idol. He was one of the originals. He knew the New York City Breakers. He brought the New York City Breakers to our house when they did Soul Train, Rocksteady Crew, Crazy Legs. They came to our house. At the same time. So when Red used to see all these paintings of graffiti and all that, he loved. He just got you're like, wow, man. This is from New York. And it was because of my relative Sugar Pop. So but Red kind of always did his twist to it. Always West Coast twist to it, and that's how we really at that time, those are the music we were listening to at that time. It was hip hop, good hip hop, and we still had the oldies going, different kind of, the Earth, Wind and Fire, Temperies, all that, Dramatics and all that. But those at that time, hip hop, New York with hip hop was more influence to my brother Gangsta Red.
Man, that's dope, man. That's a trip as you're painting that picture, Oos. I'm literally picturing Uso, rest in peace, Gangsta Red, really prompting what's about to be the rest of West Coast hip hop, because y'all was the beginning. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so as that's all working through Red's brain, you know what I'm saying? We're about to receive all this, you know what I'm saying? So that's beautiful, Oos.
Yeah.
And you're right. A lot of the youngsters don't research hip hop and realize that there are elements you got to abide by. You know what I'm saying? From the 5 elements to the even extended 9 elements. If we really want to take it deeper with, some of the youth. And that's the purpose of Concrete Jungle, Uso, is because, I myself, coming from the artist side, I want to be able to let our people know, we got our own voice, we got our own stories to tell. So at that point, while we're trying to get on any other platform, let's make our own platform. Let's bring it together. Let's bring it here. And so that's just me trying to, bridge that gap. And I just got to say, we wouldn't be doing none of this without you guys. You know what I'm saying?
Appreciate that.
And
appreciate that.
Man, dude, that's a trip to realize, you know what I'm saying? As gangster rap as Gangsta Red is, you know what I'm saying? The core elements of hip hop, you can't escape that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I can see that it lives within him. And you guys were breakdancing. I didn't know he was blasting up murals.
Yeah, he was doing murals because he was very, when Sugar Pop used to bring his friends from New York, at that time, these were top graffiti artists. I mean, this tape was out it was called a graffiti artist. It's called Wild Style. That was the first. That was the first graffiti art videotape. Remember, when I'm saying videotape, I'm talking about it's on beta. Beta, yeah. And I remember Red would watch that over and over. I'll come home, I'm like, man, what are you watching? You still watching that tape? He's like, he's just looking at the mirrors, how they, the designs, how they're hitting the trains, the subways, and next thing you know, you see Red drawing his sketchbook. Next thing I know, one of my friends at school, hey man, I think your brother hit up the park building. What? So we went to Carson Park. Look, he hit up a whole b-boy mirror on the side of Carson Park. It was a b-boy standing with red seashells, Adidas's with the fat laces, the corduroys with the belt with the name, the bomber jacket, the Kango, the Gazelle, but he threw the B sign. And they really put the neighborhood on there. I was like, and at that time for us was like, man, but Red, he wanted to try it, and then he started getting into stealing paint. My dad goes, hey, what's all those paint cans doing in the? Oh, I'm doing the project, but they don't know the homies. The homies helped Red. They robbed the paint store in Torrance, and, like, and now look, those canvas paint, they're expensive now,
Yeah, they lock them up.
Yeah, they lock them up. So now we got good friends that started back in those days. Now they're huge, like Slick from Hawaii. He's a good friend of ours, man. Rest in peace, Dreamer, Big Tagadar from Carson. Yeah, rest in peace. He's another, back in the days, man, those were all bombers, but all locals. They were all, Polynesians and, and Asians. So, that was our group. That was, like I said, it was our others,
Yeah.
Even though it was an urban thing, but don't leave us out, don't leave us Pacifica out. Don't leave us out, man. Because wherever y'all gonna go, we're gonna go. We're gonna do it too, But
we're gonna do it better.
Man, we're gonna do it better, exactly. Because that's how we are. We take once we put our heart into it, that's what I love about our polys. Once we put our heart to it, it's we'll do it better and stronger. I mean, look who we got, the number one paid actor, The Rock. He's
come on
so
now.
So it's the rise of our people, and at that time it was hard because it was only us. It was only us. We didn't have the Troy Polamalu's, The Rock. We didn't have it was just BOOYAA. It was like, who are you guys? What are you guys? Are you guys Puerto Ricans? Are you guys? No, we're Samoan. Samoan. What is that? Some Islanders. We're Pacific Islanders. Like that. We have to show them. They're like, at the same time, that's why a lot of people say, yeah, so and so put the Samoans on the map. Nah, to me, I don't want to sound cocky, but we put the Samoans on the map. We were out there in Europe. We were out there in Japan, China, all over Asia. We were out there all over Brazil, and let the people know our image: long hair and tattoos. That's the image of a Samoan. You know what I mean? So we went out there to push our people, to let them know what is a Samoan is. So and I'm just glad now, as I see these days, that it's a beautiful thing how I see a lot of our kids and our youngsters are finally stepping out of the box. Because I notice our people, we get into too much in the comfort zone, that, okay, I'm cool right here. But if you put your mind and you set your goals of what you want to be and what you want to do, you can be out there and you can make it, man. And I mean, look, I'm talking to you, and look, you got a podcast that's, I follow you because I like your show. You know what I mean?
Thanks,
and
Zeus.
what you're doing it for, look, I mean, that's what we're talking about. Go for your goals, go out there, and because people didn't understand when we first came out. When we first came out, it was, even our own people, some people were making fun, like, oh, what they're trying to do. Oh, man, they're rapping. But my brother Red didn't just pick up, so I'm a rapper. Nah, you can ask, I mean, when you see the documentary come out in our book, that comes out, you're going to see all famous rappers and singers said, man, BOOYAA came out before us. Matter of fact, they came out before, they were before their time. They came out with the live band with hip hop. They came out with the image with the county jackets and the long braided hair. You know what I mean? And so, and that's not us saying it. We got artists like Cypress Hill and Travis Barker, Eminem, Dr. Dre saying it. That Ice-T, that these guys they were before us. But our kids don't know that, but they're gonna see it. They're gonna see it this year when our documentary drops. They're gonna be like, damn, these Usos were doing it and we were doing it alone. But it was the vision that my brother Godfather had, us growing up in that environment, That's why at that time, a lot of people used to ask us, it was like, oh, when we came out, oh, BOOYAA don't do Samoan music. We we are Samoan. Why would I do Samoan music when I am when I am Samoan? You know,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Why would I do Samoan music when we are Samoan?
Yeah.
Hip hop is what we grew up, and hip hop is urban. We're just other branches that's why I like what Fat Joe said before. You know, we are the others coming, but we have something to say too. Besides the brothers. Because be like if you got Fat Joe, Be Real, Kid Frost, Baby Bash, all the Latin, all the Big Pun, Rest in Peace, all all of them. Then, but BOOYAA, you only got one Samoan group. We didn't have everyone to help us at that time, but we had our words to show how we lived in our our voice as Pacifica people growing up in the neighborhood. And that was a story that was that people wanted to hear with our music because wow, they came, parents came from the islands and next door they're in the neighborhood and we started our own because that's how it was, and and that's what a lot of people gotta understand that we are more of I like it now because there's a lot of us now. I see a lot of youngsters in the music or they're doing reggae, they're doing pop. Now, see, I wish we had this when we came out because our movement would have been more powerful, which it ain't over. I mean, we're still gonna lay it down, all of us, But
Definitely.
if we had all this, if everybody was in the same page back in the 80s when we came out, man, bro, we would have been took over this industry.
Yeah.
But time means everything. It's God's time, and I like this generation now because they're stepping out their comfort zone. They're not scared to fail. They're not scared to fail. They're taking more risk because there's a reward behind that. And I think in my generation, a lot of them didn't take risks because they were scared to fail or the other Usos are going to make fun of them or, like that. You know how it is.
Yeah.
The Usos, they be clowning like, oh man, that dude got knocked out, man. That Uso got knocked out. I'm like, yeah, he got knocked out, but at least he's in the ring. You know what I mean? You got to remember that. But now, yeah, you know what I mean. So for now generation, it's a beautiful thing. We see a lot of our kids are like because when we came out, and then we came out with our clothing line, same thing. When we did the magic show in Vegas, we're looking around like, man, there's about 200 booths, clothing booths, and there's Fat Farm, P Diddy's, Sean John, and all you see is the GAWTTI gear big booth, and we're like, man, there's no Usos, there's some more than, we're thinking there's other polys that will be part of the Magic Show, which is the biggest clothing convention held twice in Vegas.
Yeah.
But we were the only one in there.
That's
know,
epic.
Yeah, and I still got I'm like, man, gee, now with the clothing line business, it's like I don't see none of the poly. I mean, I'm looking for some. I want them to, make sure we see, to embrace if we see another poly, with their booth and we used to walk around and nobody, just only us. But now look, you got a lot of Usos. They got clothing, doing their T-shirts, doing their and see. I wish we had them back in our time when we came out because we would have 10, 20 booths of all polys in the Magic Show. It would have been beautiful. But I just it's not. I'm just glad that this generation is, like I said, they're getting out their comfort zone.
Definitely. I know you mentioned, and I agree with you in the beginning of your guys' career, your big Uso, rest in peace, Godfather, made it a point to say we're gonna represent our Samoan culture. It doesn't mean that we need to make Samoan music because we're Samoan people. And to be honest with you, that registered with me a lot because I did a lot of just a lot of lyrical music. Coming up, I focused a lot on just like messaging and making sure that what I was saying to the people was something, and we weren't just shaking our asses out there. You know what I'm saying? But like kind of provoking our minds out there. So I love that part. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And you guys definitely were original when you guys came out. Do you see an open path for our youngsters nowadays, or do you think it's a little bit harder for them being Samoan or Polynesian coming up in this music industry?
Ooh, good question, man. It's hard, this industry, because it's, social media. It's especially our poly kids. My thing is never give up. Keep pushing your product, believe in your product, know what you got and know what you're doing for the fans, not for yourself. What are you providing for the fans? But at the same time, it's music, a lot of it changed, it's when people ask me, Gotti, I got DMs every day who's like, Gotti, my son or my nephew wants to get into the music industry, any advice? And I just tell them, back in our days, it was the number one priority. That music, it was our number one priority. But these days, you hear from other artists will tell you, make it one of your priorities, because it's different now. The numbers change when social media hit. When the downloads hit, it changed. You got guys that went platinum back in the '90s. We all went platinum and gold. That don't mean nothing no more. Now it's all about likes.
Yeah,
it's all about followers. Likes. The followers, that's what they're going by. But they're not going by raw talent. They're not going by, this kid will have a million likes, but man, they will sign him because of his followers. But you got this kid that's just spitting fire, talented, gifted, and just still trying. But for our people, my thing is, like I always said, we need to come with our own lane, because there's enough of us now. There's over 1 million Polynesians now.
Yep.
And I think that for all of us to, my question was, like I always ask, like, have you ever seen the Samoan videos of the rappers and the singers from Samoa? Do you watch that?
I do.
Yes, but do you see their views?
Yeah, some of them are making hits. Some of them are
more.
Yeah.
But you notice they got more than
us out here.
Rappers are us out here.
Yeah.
So what does that tell you? I know some people are clicking because they want to see, some people say, oh man, this rapper made me, oh man, that's Samoan dude. But yeah, but you clicking, you're just upping up his followers. But if you notice that, and this is my theory, I told my brother Cobra, my brother Monster this, our next project, like, there's over 1 million polys now, and they're all on social media. Mm-hmm. Not just from here, the West Coast. They're all over the world. They're New Zealand, Australia strong. Then you got, overseas. And if our people come together and support that rapper, that's going to come out just like how the Urban does. Picture him. That person can go platinum. He can sell gold. Why? Because you have over live streams of 1 million polys are clicking. But sometimes our people too, it's either there's a hate there or there's a, there's a famous Polynesian thing. They call it, and I know you probably know they call it crab in the bucket.
Yep.
That's what we gotta stop, bro. That's what we gotta stop. New Zealand and Australia, they don't even need us here. They go gold and platinum because they push each other. They like each other's music. They support each other. But us here, either you're from a different color line or you're a Crip or you're a Paru or your family to get along with this family, or I don't want to talk to them because, come on, man. That's why our people that's why we don't really get nowhere, because it's that old divide and conquer. But if you picture us coming, a small little rock coming together, man, ain't no one can touch us. We've been born into, I work, me and my brothers, we work with the best producers from Battle Canada. They said, man, the Samoans, we come from the rhythm of the drums. We do.
Yep.
We come from that era. That's why, Samoans, we can harmonize, church choir, the choir, we singing and, but the thing is, we got to stop that crab in the bucket, man, because we're not going to get nowhere with our generation of us keep putting down our Usos. Oh, man, what they're trying to do now, or what they're trying, oh, man, dude, if we can uplift and click that person and we really help support, our kids that are rapping now, they can go gold and platinum. They can support their family. But because we have over 1 million Samoans, if you're gonna watch that video just to laugh, like a lot of people, I hear some guy, watching the Usos that are in Samoa, man, oh GAWTTI, man, you see that one rapper, man, they're funny, Us. I'll laugh, I'll look at him like, I'll still give him props though. And then once I give them props, man, Uso, they would DM me, man, Uso, is this really BOOYAA Tribe? I'm like, yes, it's GAWTTI from BOOYAA. Keep doing what you're doing, Uso. I like what you're doing. Man, I'm seeing talking about these guys, like, man, you just made my day, Uso. I'm from so-and-so village of Samoa. I'm just trying to get my music. Keep doing what you're doing. I like what you're doing. And that kid, he couldn't believe it that it was me hitting him up. He's posting, oh man, BOOYAA follows me, GAWTTI follows me. But see, that one person, that's what I'm talking about. But if we all come together, like New Zealand and Australia does, we can dominate in this industry for our youngsters. Like right now, who's hot right now? Like the youngster Craig from Compton.
Correct.
Yeah, Craig, good. I love his style. I love where he's going with it. I love his, and then, but we got to keep pushing him. We got to keep pushing him. Another one, a youngster from he's Tongan, Young LB. Got to keep.
That's doing this thing,
another one.
man. He's been doing it for a while. Yep.
Oh yeah, but look what he's doing. He's killing it in the cannabis industry.
Yeah.
And good Toko right there. Good kid, got a good head on his shoulder. I've talked to him. He talked. We good kid right there and smart. But we got to keep pushing, and not just Samoans, Tongans, but the whole Pacifico, because this is our time, man. And especially kids like that. And we're working on new projects. We got a lot of rappers. We got from the Bay. There's a lot of rappers out there. That's a lot of talent out there in the Bay. You got Pistallion, Craze. You got Judizi. You got cat from San Ho, Skrill. Oh man!
Shout out to Skrills, man. Skrills doing this shit, man.
Oh, dude. Then you got the West Coast. I got my nephew we're working on, D-Boy. I got another kid from Oceanside named Boy. I'm working on him. We got a lot of talent in the West Coast. Baby Down from Brownsville, his kid. There's a lot of talent, but we all have to come together and start doing that crab in the bucket, man. We gotta stop that, because if we keep doing that, our industry of us, our people, it's just gonna, it's gonna kill the dream for the next generation of our kids. But we all gotta help each other. We all gotta help that person to lift him up, so we can put him in there. We can put him up there. And, that's what I love about New Zealand and Australia. A lot of Usos, they do. Oh man, they're gonna come here to our turf. Like Young Poetic, my little nephew out there.
Hey, shout out to my Uso Poetic, man.
Shout out to Poetic, man. He doing his thing, Don Ray, my brother D, my brother Andy, Don Ray Entertainment, the whole BOOYAA Tribe 62. But look how, man, they're so united that they help each other. Even in Australia, they help each other.
Yeah.
And that's what we need, that's what we need here.
I see it. What's dope about them too out there is that from music to the acting scene to like even like in the news anchoring, like I'm looking at them like, dude, this is why they say representation is important. You know what I'm saying? Because when I look at that out there, I'm looking like, this is so dope. How can we do this out here? You know what I mean? How can this happen out? Because you're right. Like there's so much of us out here. We should be able to bring it together and make our own community like that.
There you
Um,
go. See, I
I
love when you
wanted
think,
to
Louis.
I wanted to touch base on that artist you're mentioning, Skrills. And I
Yeah,
wanted to say I wanted to say a big up to him because I know that it was huge when he had the collaboration with Wicked.
wicked. Yeah,
And for those two Usos to be able to, bring that together and consider, the movement beyond them, you know what I'm
right.
saying? Us, like, what, speak on that, because you come from, the era where the foundation of it all. So
Yeah.
what does that mean when you see that?
Well, when I first heard, because Wicked's from my neighborhood.
Yeah,
He's my little homie, and even Wicked, another talented artist.
man, he dope.
Um, yes, and when him and Skrills came together, to me, it was me, Cobra Monster. Like, this is what we're talking about, because when Booyah, like with us, when we used to bring our homies to the studio, man, I remember one time the homies were sweating ice cubes. Cube was he was kind of he had his LA Blue hat, and he seen all the homies drinking outside. He's like, so I went outside, I was go get Cube, and I went to go Cube good. He was just looking at, man, all he see was all these young Pyros drinking 40s, all, and I'm like, totally, oh. They're like, like, damn, but see, this is when it's business. And this is what the youngsters got to know, that if you're banging a neighborhood and you're from the red side or the blue side, you cannot put that in the middle of what you're trying to do in your music. Like people were shocked, even in my own neighborhood, they'll be like, man, I didn't know Red doing a song with the Dub C, and he from the other side. This is business.
Yeah,
This
okay,
is
yeah.
business, because I gotta get the Crips to buy our stuff. I gotta get the Bloods to buy my stuff. If you're a Crip, you gotta get the Bloods to buy. Look at Nip, rest in peace. All the Pyros I know was bumping Nip. Same thing with us,
Yep.
but it's business. You cannot mix. My brother Gangsta Red always said this. You cannot mix your game banging with your music. You can't.
Mm, mm, mm.
You got to do your music. If it's your music and you got Crips that are gonna be artists and on guests on your album, it's just business, and this is how your music gets out there. You're not just gonna be in one lane, And for us, we've been tapping on that, because remember, Booyah Tribe is half Crips and half Pyros.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, my brother Murder, Big Skull, Roscoe, Gibbs from Park Village. Then that's why a lot of people are confused. They're like, wait a minute, Booyah's all Crips. They go, nah. They're all Pyros. Nah. Wait, they're half. How did that happen? Because we're family. We're Ainga. We didn't put that, like when my homies come to the house, they never disrespected my brother Skull and Gibbs. And then when the Ville homies come, they never disrespected us, because it was always Ainga. We always kept it that way. But as far as the artist, you can't put that oh man, I ain't gonna do no song with him. Why? Because he's a Crip. Man, that was a beautiful thing when Wicked and Skrills, and that song, that's on my top 10. I'd be bumping that when I hit the gym. I'd be like,
The
the music.
banger.
That's why, and that's what made me. That's what made me follow a young Skrills. Because shout out to the Uso Cam, and all the San Ho Usos out there in San Ho from the South. But I always had love with the music. I can't hate because he's from the South. The kid's talented. He got some bumping music.
Yeah.
So him and Wicked came out just like my little homie Wicked. Same thing. I bumped Wicked in mine because they got good music, but I love how they came together, because they didn't put the street thing in the middle. They put the Uso, you know what, let's come together. Let's bring this together and let's do our music together, and then let's see what the outcome. The outcome to me came out beautiful. To me.
100.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it was a beautiful scene, man. Just to be able to see them too. When I first came across it, I was like, "Yo, nah." I even had to kind of play it back, and then I was like, "Whoa, this is dope." Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because for me, I'm a backpacking MC. I got some notebooks in my backpack, and I'm showing up to like KRS-One shows. That's me. That's my scene. That's my shit.
Right.
So,
okay. See.
So when I see like this happening amongst, our youth and stuff, it's like, wow, this is dope. You know what I mean? And also too, man, so like, even like just researching your guys' music even more, you know what I mean? You're reminding me of more so of like, you're connecting the dots of how RIDD's thought pattern was. And then
Yes.
listening to the music, like, okay, this is why the music sounded like that, because Uso, y'all fought a certain way. You know what I'm saying? And I said this
you did your
to
research, bro.
bro, I'm
You
trying.
did your research, man. No,
And so
you hit it right on the target. You hit it right on
straight
the
up
target.
Us, and I was trying to say to one of my other Usos who grew up in Carson, you know, like, they don't make them like y'all no more. You know what I'm saying? One of my Usos from the park. And so, you know, he just got out about a year or so ago, and like, you know, I'm just like, wow, man, you know, to be able to connect with you where we're at nowadays, and to know where you come from back in the late 70s, 80s, you know, it's like, this must be a huge culture shock for someone who's, you know what I mean, getting out of the pen and seeing how it is now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's different. Yeah.
It's hugely different. One of a huge fan from y'all's dancing said to ask, because before I forget, you know what I'm saying? Who is the best dancer out of all the brothers?
Oh man, good. Well, the thing is, it was different generations because you had Godfather at that time with the locking, and then when the popping and the strutting came, it became Cobra and Monster and Red. So it was different generations, you know. You know, I was still younger. I was still in school. I wasn't even part of the group at that time. But back in the days, people don't understand. Monster was you know, because they learned from, you know, it was from Heckle and Jekyll, our relative Jack and Charlie. They, you know, my Monster was one of the, but when Cobra started, and then, well, it's Cobra, but back in the day, it was always tied between them two. But to me, as the popping and the Boogie was my brother Cobra. Yeah, my brother Cobra. But come to locking, Godfather had that original style back in the late 70s when the original lockers, you know, so it was different generations. But when it comes to popping and boogling, yeah, it had to be Cobra.
Man, Cobra's dope, dude. Cobra's featured on our intro to our trailer for the Concrete Jungle.
Oh,
Man, it's dope to think about that. And you know what's crazy when I've been researching with Rid is he reminds me of, like, I feel like every Samoan family has that wild child. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that one black sheep. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like that black sheep is that one that's like hella boom, tapped into like that other side of the world we kind of just don't know what to get to. You know what I'm saying?
My dad used to say that. My dad used to say that. The one that's always the crazy one's always the one that's tapped in a different, because the way Red thought, the way his thinking was different. And it just like and you coming from, like you said, the MC world, that's what really Red was. He was always a metaphor. He always, I want to write this style, you know, like before even, you know, him being a gangster rap, because he was so immune of loving the hip hop, how, you know, when African Bambaataa first came out. But as the streets had the environment where he lived in, that's when he said, man, you know, this is who I am, you know. But back in the days, Red freestyle, he would write metaphors. I used to read his stuff. He used to read this. I'm like, damn, Red, what do you mean by this? Well, I meant if you, you know, so you come from that MC world, you know, because really that's where it started from, you know. You know, a lot of the good writers, it has to start from MC. You can't just say, "Oh, I'm gonna be a rapper. Okay, I'm a gangster rap." Nah. And you know what I'm talking about, because I can tell your questions is you're asking some good questions, Deuce, and I love that, because you like tell the youngsters, do your research, man. Do your research on the music, man, please. And I can tell you've done your research, because Red, he was different, man. He was just the way he thought, the way he think, and you know, his mind of writing was different, man. And we had to, what you call it, we had to kind of entwine with that, because like they said, like we were the first hip hop metal. Yeah, okay. So when we used to tour in Europe, and every time we did sound check, at that time, once we get ready, everyone, you know, they're doing okay after the sound check, and then the sound man would be like, "Hey, Rid, can we do one song just to get everyone, you know, we can level everybody?" So, all right, you know. So we would be like, "Hey, let's do Jungle Boogie, you know, bum 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 bum, just to, you know, get the levels up." But the thing about it, this is real sticky. So hold up, hey, hit me one time. Oh, hey, K6. Oh, yeah, funky, but K6, put a extortion on it. Also, you hear that, wah, 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 like a metal, wah, 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 wah. Like we should be like,
I got goosebumps, bro.
Right, and that's how the metal became a part. But it didn't become like Red goes, "Oh, I'm gonna be a metal hip hop." Nah, it was just us going through it because the music we love. Because back in the days we grew up with Kiss and Danzig and all those a lot of punk rock. The Angry Samoans and Black Flag. But those were music that Red was like, "Monster, go ahead and put an extortion on that." And as long as O kept the funk in the bass, everything else was metal to extort it like we were a metal group. And that's what really we didn't just say, okay, let's do the metal. And no, it was just Red's thinking. And that's how it became. Next the manager goes, "Hey, you guys want to do a hip hop metal kind of like music?" We're like, and Red said, "I like that live band. Let's do it." And then that's the time when we were gonna get ready to start that, which we did, and that's when the soundtrack for Judgment came out, and that's when they said, "Hey, they're gonna do the first hip hop, metal, and hip hop. They're gonna pick the groups." So everyone picked all the groups. They picked Cypress Hill with Pearl Jam, Ice-T was with Slayer. So what we did, we said, "What's the last group on there?" And they go, "Oh, Faith No More." We said, "God, let's do Faith No More." And we had the best song, which became the video, the music, the back of the scene. And then that's when we first got our plaque. We sold 1 million copies. But the thing about it, when we did Another Body Murder, Faith No More was on this side of the studio. BOOYAA band was this side. Godfather said, "Monster, just jam." They should start playing. Once they got connected to the music, and so when we heard Ice-T, he heard all the groups. I guess he was there when they were hearing all the music, what groups, and he heard ours and Faith No More. Ice went back with Slayer to relay their part because he said, "Fucking up." And then B-Real calls like, "Hey, Ice is saying, y'all hear BOOYAA's version with Faith No More? That song, Another Body Murder." And that's when the movie made us our song was the of Judgment Night of the video. Judgment Night, Another Body Murder was the theme song, and then we did the MTV behind the scene of our video. It's on YouTube on our channel, on our official BOOYAA Tribe channel. You can see all of us getting ready for the behind the scenes of Another Body Murdered with MTV. So, and that's how we broke into that. But but like I told you, it was the way Red thought.
Man, that's beautiful, Oos. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, dude, you know what I'm saying? You dope, Oos, when you send dudes back to the booth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You gotta go relay your track, bro.
Yeah. Because the thing about it too, so a lot of people don't know. I mean, you guys are gonna read it in the book, in the documentary, that when they picked the groups, they went by the the sales, because remember B-Real and them were big already. They oversold us, and everyone okay. So the last group was BOOYAA and Faith No More. We were like, okay, that's cool. We'll take that. And we took it, we ran with it. And then next thing you know, the head of Sony goes, "Man, BOOYAA, Another Body Murder has to be the theme for a Judgment Night movie soundtrack." And it was.
See, that's dope. That adds on to RIDD and Godfather making sure that y'all stayed original. And y'all wasn't no copycats. And I love what you said also previously about, when we on stage, it's us. It's the band, it's the brothers. It ain't the 50 MCs rocking one microphone, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, man, bro, it got, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. As I was doing my research, it got a little emotional for me, bro. Because I was like, wow, and for me personally, I'm a 90s kid. So looking back at where you guys started, it was like we needed to celebrate these guys more, man. Like this is like past due, overdue, you know what I'm saying? And I was talking to Chino Excel. And
man, good also right there. Shout
man, he got nothing but dope stuff to say about y'all. And he was taking me back to a studio session that he just happened to run up on you guys. And he's just saying like, man, if I could get someone to just make a meme of this studio session when I sat in with BOOYAA, he said, I don't know the guy that was in the booth recording, but RIDD was at the board. He's also, everything's just kind of going as normal. And then the dude's rapping. And he said, you know, everyone's just in their own little world. And then RIDD turns around with a what the fuck kind of face. He said, if I could just get that snapshot of RIDD's face, that shit would just go viral about, you know, any situation that's kind of like, huh?
Right.
You know what I mean? So,
that's
you know,
I remember that day. I remember that night. You know,
he took me back to also the video shoot of Trouble when y'all shot in Scottsdale Projects.
Yeah.
Talk about that. Who's on y'all's part? How did that go on y'all's end for BOOYAA?
Well, he called us and then you know, I guess they wanted to find some spots. So we were just like, man, you can't get ghetto in the disc, man. We're in the project. I'll meet you in my project. He goes, where? I mean, we didn't live there no more. We moved out, but the homies were still there. So I called the homies and they were like, what's up? I go, hey man, I'm coming with Chino XL. I'm gonna shoot a video. He goes, the rapper Chino XL? Yeah. Shoot him now. So they got all the homies. We pulled up with the cameraman, man. They were so scared because all you see was guns and oh man, we won't be on the video. He was like, God, he was like, damn. Like, you know, he was stepping like, you know, his cameraman was not Chino. Chino looking at the cameramans were like, man, are we safe in there? And then, man, you always safe here. You good? And then they shot the video part. It was so funny because all they see was guns and all these, and then you know you see a crackhead running by with a broke ass 10-speed, and you know hold the video, and then the guy crackhead, hey man, let me get a dub, and my relative psycho, get out of here, gave him a crack piece, and they, all right, go ahead, film the movie, and the filmmakers were like, did he just sell dope right on live on? I said, welcome to the hood, homie. You know, man, you can't get rid of that. We stopped Chino XL video just for the crackhead was on a broke 10-speed and Psycho was like, hold up, pulled out a 20. Hey man, get out of here, man, shooting the video. All right, go ahead, man. and you can see those Palangi filmers, they were like, man, Chino, we sure we good here? You know, maybe you good, we were BOOYAA, man. I was just laughing in the back. I said, Chino, there you go, man, God, they scared. I go, nah, y'all good, all good. But it was a good spirits. Yeah, Chino said, man, thanks God. They go, no, it was family, man. You know, your family, bro. So it worked out really well.
That's pretty dope, man. Yeah, Chino was bigging up y'all like crazy, just saying how much being on the West Coast, you guys were a pretty huge part of him adapting over here and also just, you know, getting things going and stuff. And that's dope, man. It's crazy because I'd have never pictured, you know, because I used to listen to Chino back in the Creek days and stuff. And I'd have never pictured a BOOYAA Chino collab. And I'm like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, man, you know, like Chino, you know, he dabbed in the acting as you did, Oos. What's more of a, or where do you kind of find more comfort in, music or acting?
To me, I kind of did both, but, you know, music was always a part of me. You know, it was just like, you know, growing up with it, you know, from being young until, you know, just making good music and, you know, but even acting, you know, when I got into it, you know, in the early 90s, you know, I had the same feeling with the music, you know, so to me, it was both, you know, I adapted to both of the worlds, you know, and I loved it, you know, just playing my own character, you know, just, but yeah, began to the acting scene. It's to me was same like the music. You know, I felt, you know, I think both for me.
That's what's up. What was it like working with Mos Def?
Oh, it was good. It was good. It was really it was funny though that time. Yeah, doing that part, especially that scene because Mos Def knew us, you know, from the music. You know, when he found out it was us, when I was playing Skinny Pete, you know, and I had Cobra as my bodyguard, he was telling Gary,
that role.
he told F. Gary Gray, a good friend of mine, that wait, who's playing BOOYAA? Wait, BOOYAA T.R.I.B.E? Oh, damn! But that's why when he came up and the thing about it, Mos Def didn't see me yet because you know I was in my trailer. He didn't see me for the scene. So when I went up, they go, "Oh God," he says, "It's your turn." So I went up, So when we really played the first part, he was downstairs with Mark. And when that scene when they said, "Oh, don't look at him," he don't like people looking at him. He's thinking I'm like Cobra size, but when he seen Cobra, but when he seen me, when the funniest part when we cut, we all were rolling, and then most of goes, man, I was like, damn, Gary, I was tripping when I seen him. Oh shit, this nigga really huge. I thought Cobra was huge, but when I went to look, I really like, oh shit. And we just started laughing at after the cut, we just started busting up. He goes, man, I remember when y'all came to New York, man, when y'all was on MTV with Fat Five Freddy. And who's your boy that did 700 bets? I go, that's Mozilla from the Hit Squad. He goes, yeah. He goes, man, we were like, who are these motherfuckers? He was just tripping. And you guys were on New York with Fat Five. And, I was just, man, we were all like, and then Kurt Louder says, oh, the Mafia of Rap. Let's see what they got to say. And they shows BOOYAA Tribe in New York City. Like, I remember when that first came in, he said it was the talk of New York. Like, did y'all see these rappers from the West Coast? Man, it was just, I remember when I first seen that, man. Now I'm working with you guys. It's a good thing, man. And then Mark Wahlberg was funny because Mark, the first thing he told me, he goes, hey, GAWTTI, my mom still has your guys' picture when your brothers opened up for my brother in Hawaii. That was their first show. Well, yeah, at the Blaisdell? Well, yeah. My mom still got that picture in her house in Boston.
Wow.
I said, that is true. Because his brother Danny was part of New Kids on the Block.
Yeah.
And that was BOOYAA's first big show ever in Hawaii that they did. They opened up for. And Mark Wahlberg told me that, Godfather Cove, that his mom still got that picture.
Man, you guys were mega. If y'all are like not even just sticking to the hip hop lane, y'all are opening up with New Kids on Block, the pop. That's straight pop shit right there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So y'all was crossing all genres.
Yeah, and that's when that was the first ever big show that the boys did. And then and then they went on tour with Stevie B. He was big in the '80s, independently, and they did like a West Coast tour to get him out there, and then and that's what happened. Start hitting Hollywood, and then start doing some shows just to for A&Rs, and someone from Island Records, A&R, Kim Bowie was there and said, man, I'd like to set up another one. Brought Chris Blackwell down. He goes, man, sign these kids. They signed the boys.
You mentioned at the point of you guys coming out, you guys was really the only like group that actually rapped what y'all lived, the whole gangbanging lifestyle.
Yeah.
How often would y'all run into artists that weren't living that lifestyle?
Man, because remember in those days, they had a lot of rap conventions.
Yeah.
There was a lot of rap conventions those days, which they don't have now. I mean, I wish they had those rap conventions because you see everybody there. There was the Jackrabbit.
What was the purpose for those rap conventions, Oos?
Just to bring your artists, to bring who to your music, when you're going to get ready to debut your music, and just to try the music together, like who's coming out, who's new, like that.
Yeah, we could use
those
that.
Those were really nice. I used to love those because you see who's the next artist or who's their next music or they're promoting their next album, and then everyone's in town. I'm talking about everybody. You see everybody there. And then when we used to bump into guys that at that time was, saying there was West Coast street rappers, RIDD would go off to the side and Godfather wouldn't even know. RIDD would just start banging on them, man. And they just like, oh, thanks to RIDD, BOOYAA. Oh, but you're rapping about, killing and I'm banging and all that. So you're just speaking out. Okay, I thought you guys were living it. And that's how we kind of found out that, not all of them, we were the only group that, that was living the, at that time, living the life of, and rapping about it, not just rapping about it. Like, I'm not going to rap about your story. No, I'm rapping about my brother's story. That's what I'm doing. I'm rapping about our story. This is coming from a Samoan Pasifika version of the streets, not from my brothers. So yeah, it was difficult at that time because they wasn't really and I said it I even said it on the video. It was on Caveback. Caveback kids make videos when I said that interview. You know, I said there was a lot of rappers back in those days were all hush. You know, now they're sea walking, they're saying, like, whoa man, back in the days, you got songs that you're saying, I'm not, I don't bang. But now all of a sudden you're older, now you're banging. Come on, man. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way.
Real shit. You mentioned back in the day, one of the first rap beefs was with BOOYAA Tribe and Tone Loc, and how you straight floored one of them. Oos, did you ever get the footage? Could we expect the footage to come for the documentary?
Man, you know what's funny? I've been asking because there's a guy at that time, he was doing interviews back in the days, and he was there that night. And he even told, matter of fact, he told Ice that Ice seen the video. He said, hey man, we wasn't all, he got the video. I said, man, because, that's another thing that, we wanted to bring up, but, it was just what it was. It was, coming from our, but he has the video, which I'm trying to get a hold of, because that's what we want to put, to show, that was the first beef ever of hip hop.
Man, we're gonna be locked in for that documentary, Oos, straight up.
Yeah, we're doing some huge stuff right now. We got some couple of networks that are hitting us up already. And just look forward. Just coming together, and we're putting our stuff all together for that. So that's what we're working on right now. As far as this year.
Nice. Does BOOYAA have any unreleased music, Oos?
We don't. We have an album that we never released. It's that we're going to. It was actually done. It was the first album that we did with a lot of. It was we called it the All Stars because there was a lot of. We had all rappers on one song, and that was like one of the first. First to me, I think. I even said it's the first ever that after that then you had rapper first feature ever. We had 6 rappers on one song. It's Ice-T, Ice Cube, Kid Frost, King T, my brother RIDD. Yeah, 5 rappers, and we had an all-star. We did a song with George Clinton, the godfather of P-Funk. We did a song with him. We had Sly and the Family Stone played a couple keyboards. We had Danny Glover from Living Colors. He did a song with us called Rock and Roll Gangster. It was an all-star album that was never released. Some people try to leak it, but we have the masters where we're gonna rejuvenate that album to bring out.
Dang, that's gonna be dope.
Yeah. So we have a lot of stuff that we're working on right now. Besides, getting back to the music, just trying to finish the legacy and work on these young artists, that we have. Just trying to help our people, man.
That's what's up. RIDD mentioned he had a song with Rick James. How can I get a copy of that, Uso?
Yeah. Oh yeah, we do. Yes, we did that. I can let me. I know someone that has all our, and I'll get that to you. Yeah, we did a song, with Rick James before he passed away.
Man.
Yeah, and there's another story that people love, but you got to see the doc and you got to see the book because, Rick James, he had a lot of good advice when we did the song, all up in that P-Funk. It was an LP. That's when we first signed with Hollywood Basic with Funky Klein. That's when Funky Klein was alive, and when he passed away, then we went to. That's when God wanted to go. We might as well just go independent. But yeah, I'll make sure I get that song to you.
Man, Oos, we are definitely locked in, Oos. We ready for that doc. From y'all's point of view, traveling around the world so much. Y'all got a favorite place that y'all like to be? Is there a certain energy throughout this world that BOOYAA Tribe just likes performing?
Mine's is Japan and New Zealand.
Nice.
Because with Japan, that was our second home. And matter of fact, Japan blew us up. That's where we started. After going there and we built a fan base and we kind of turned the West Coast, into Japanese, and now they're all doing, West Side, and they're dressing like us, and but yeah, Japan. But New Zealand, when we went to New Zealand, it was more of because of our people, how they all come together and they support each other, and when the Pacifica comes together, that's it made us feel like, wow, this is what America needs. And I even said it on the interview in New Zealand. We need this right here. And it felt good. So those are my two favorite spots. Was Japan, but New Zealand. When every time we go, Europe was fun, Germany was fun, going to Korea and all that was cool, but New Zealand and Japan was my favorite.
I heard Germany's food's not that great.
Oh no, man, it was just different in Germany. We could deal with the, like when they had, but it wasn't all that great, man. Really used to tell our road manager McDonald's, man, because come on, man. But we used to love it. We go to Europe, we went to Brussels, Vienna, Italy, all the other places had good food. But Germany, man, but I got to shout out to our German fans too, because they show a lot of love, man. There are a lot of dedicated fans, man. I mean, we used to pull up and they had guys. These are hooligans, they pull up with tattoo BOOYAA Tribe striped on their stomach, on their arms.
Nice.
They're dedicated fans. Yeah, so. But the food was not, man, it was not.
PSA to all you Samoans and Polish. Be ready when you go to Germany.
Yeah, because the food is, you're going to be eating McDonald's a lot on the tour, man. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Everywhere else was good. It was good.
That's what's up.
But yeah.
Before I let you go, Uso, do you have a favorite music memory with your brother RIDD?
Yeah. There was one time we did a show in Japan, and the what you call it, our CD, the DJ equipment, it cut off, and I was getting ready to mob, and RIDD, they grabbed the mic and freestyle, and the whole crowd went crazy, and I had goosebumps, and then I was like, man, the proudness of me and my brother, like the way my brother spit, he didn't need the music. Because someone with the electrical, the DJ, our DJ couldn't find the thing cut off, and they were pumping RIDD, booyah, booyah. So RIDD grabbed the mic and just freestyle for like 2 minutes. He bust one of his new clips that he wrote. And when you see your brother, I'm standing on the side and just looking at him. I just said, man, his passion of the music will go on. I don't need music to stop me. People will listen to my lyrics around the world. People listen to good music. I don't need likes. I don't need people to know. The fans will judge you. And just seeing the crowd going crazy in Japan, I never forgot that day. And that was the best memories of my brother.
Man, man, respect, man. Rest in peace to the late great GANXSTA RIDD, man. Uso, I have nothing but alofas and love and gratitude, admiration, and just pure, man, thank you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I thank you. I thank your brothers, man. I thank your parents, man, for cultivating this. You know what I'm saying? To, you know what I mean? Because I'm a dad. I got 2 boys in high school, and sometimes, man, kids, they're a little hard-headed, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So to see, y'all and y'all legacy, man, and I constantly, stress to my boys and our family legacy. And I just want you to know, man, from my heart to y'all, man, y'all legacy lives deep. It runs deep. There's a real purpose of what y'all did and what y'all doing, and I constantly play BOOYAA on my station. You know what I'm saying? I told Chino this, that when we're talking about representing ourselves and seeing ourselves, I constantly have BOOYAA in my playlist, because how can we get to the corrects? How can we get to the poetics if we don't even know BOOYAA? You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
And
thank
so
you,
Uso, thank you. Faftai lava, Uso, like seriously, man. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you stopping by. We
always,
here
man.
At the Concrete Jungle, Us, you always got a home with us here, Uso. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna keep you updated on things that we got, so you keep be in the loop of our movement, what we're doing this year.
You got to let us know anything that you need,
Yes.
brother. We are here for you. We're ready for that documentary, Uso.
Yeah.
And as time, I'm looking at the time, like, wow, we went past time, and I want to talk to you for like 4 more hours. But I'm like, man, let's leave them right here. Let's leave them on a cliffhanger. We got the BOOYAA Tribe documentary coming out. Everybody in the concrete jungle, everybody in Island City media, everybody out there. You know what I'm saying? If y'all don't know, man, y'all about to know. And Uso,
exactly.
Alofas, man.
Oh,
I appreciate you, brother.
Much love to you. Yep. And thank you for this honor. And like you said, let's leave them here, and I'll keep you updated on everything that we're doing, and so you be in the loop. And shout out to Island City Media. Shout out to you, what you're doing, because I'm proud of what you're doing, and I love your show. I watch it all the time. So the next one, we have all the brothers, me, Cobra, Monster, Big Giz, and Murder. You get all of us, the next one, so once the documentary drops, so
definitely do.
So
I've been telling people you my family. I've been telling people you my family since I was in elementary. So we got
we're cousins, we're family. Like I said, we family, Boost.
Like straight
we
up,
are family.
Yeah, it runs deep with me. Like I said, man, I have nothing but admiration and gratitude, brother, and everyone out there jumping in with us. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
This is your Uso Devotion. It's the Concrete Jungle, chilling with my big Us, GAWTTI, yo Chief Rocker this week. Keep it locked. Brat, brat.
Yo, this is GAWTTI from the Almighty Tribe. You're listening to Concrete Jungle, my Uso Devotion. I just say, man, keep it going, keep it banging. BOOYAA Tribe for life.
The Concrete Jungle.